Welcome to Rick Rack Ruby. I'm Laura Cluvo. Today we will be making this cashmere angel. Her dress is made from an upcycled sweater. She's fun and easy, so let's get started. To create our cashmere angel, the first thing we'll need is a cashmere sweater, a thrifted sweater to upcycle. I've pulled out two. This one is turquoise and it's 100% cashmere. And this one is a paler blue color and it's a blend of cashmere and wool. Both of these thrifted sweaters are damaged beyond the point where anyone would wear them again. I kind of prefer the brighter color just because I think that it will show up. It's a better contrast against my background to show you. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out with my die cutter a large circle, a scallop circle from a nice flat undamaged piece of my sweater. This is the die that I will use to cut out the dress. It is 7 3/4 inches across, and it's from the Spellbinders Grand Nestabilities. Here's the number, LF-249. Now, I will admit that this is discontinued and kind of hard to find, but it's not hard to make do with a 7 3/4 inch circle. Trace a plate, do whatever you need to do, or you can even cut the circle and then fold it into wedges and then cut a little scallop and make your own pattern, which I will show you at the end of the video. So I'm going to cut a piece out for the dress with my die cutting machine. When it comes to die cuts and the die cutting, the dies, I'm a big fan of just the basic shapes. I love to work with ovals and circles and basic shapes. If you get a die cutter that makes a bird cage or something like that, it can only ever be a bird cage. But circles and squares and scallops and basic shapes can be combined in a lot of different ways. Here is my cashmere scallop circle, which is going to become the angel's dress like this. This has a lot of static. It's funny, but this is the idea. It's going to be a little dress like this. I also cut out some scallop circles these are about 3 3/4 inches. This will become the wings. Smaller scalloped circle dies for die cutting are much easier to locate. We'll start with a 20mm face bead. And of course, you can find the instructions for the face in my Focus on Faces video. They're not hard. And then about 15 inches of 1/16 inch ribbon. And I happen to have this tulle that perfectly matches the sweater. The reason that I like to use a sweater, especially cashmere, is because of the drape. So when you work with this and you hold it, it kind of flops down in a way that, it's kind of unique to this fabric. But there is it's knit. It's not like felt, it's knit, so it has a direction. And so I think it's important to pay attention to, this is the right side of the sweater, this is the wrong side of the sweater. I like the right side of the sweater to be on the outside. Anyway, I found this tulle, or I had this tulle, that exactly matched the sweater. So I could not resist using it. But of course, you could use a white, an off-white, a red, any color you like. I think that this is probably about 20 inches, 2 20-inch lengths, but I cut these too long, I can already tell. So I'm tying this off in the center with my 1/16 inch ribbon, a nice square knot, and then I'm going to fold this into quarters to determine the center, which is right here. I have some competition today. My neighbors are having some work done and my husband is home on a conference call. So hopefully that won't bother you too much. Don't cut off very much of the center, just a teeny weeny itty bitty tiny, almost like you're not cutting, but you're just sort of marking that center because it will be plenty big enough. And it's very easy to cut it too big and then the dress will slide down over the tulle. So I'm going to pull the ribbons through that little center. There's 1, 2. See, there's nothing to it, and that was almost like a little slot that I cut in the center of the sweater piece. More of a slot than an actual hole, and you can see it's already getting bigger. And look how long I cut that, way too long. I think you'll probably find just that cutting about 10-inch lengths and then fold them in half so they're 5, 5, 5, 5. That would be good enough. All right, so this is going to be the dress and the petticoat. And then I have a 20-inch bead, 20-inch head bead, which I will thread on from the bottom to the top. I'm going to find where the knit, I know you probably can't tell, but the knit of the sweater is more vertical, and I'm going to try to put her face there. Then I will tie off the ribbons at the top. I don't know why, but I always do that. And then up here to form a hanging loop. I'll trim those off to about 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to add a little bit of glue back here, right here. I have my hot glue gun standing by, as well as my sewing machine over here. And I'm just going to secure the bead to the top of the dress. That also helps for the so that the hole in the cashmere doesn't keep growing bigger. You don't want too much glue though, because we're going to be sewing her little collar next. And if you have too much hot glue in there, it's going to interfere with your sewing. So I've already cut about 15 or 16 inches of white lace. This one is 5/8 of an inch wide. And I'm going to gather this up with a needle and thread, and I use a thimble. But I know not everybody likes to use a thimble. You don't need a thimble. So this is the collar, which I will place beneath her chin. Ends meet in the back. And pull that nice and tight, and make sure that the gathers are distributed evenly around the neck there. That looks good. And now to secure the lace, I'm going to stitch through from the back all the way through to the front. This helps to assure that the distribution of the gathers, while it may not stay exactly where they are, at least you know there'll be, you know, these will stay on this side and these will stay on that side. And now I'm going to secure my thread in the back. And now for a little decoration in the front, I have my trusty baker's twine, red and white baker's twine on a needle. Make sure that your needle is large enough to accommodate the baker's twine through the eye. So it's a fairly large needle to accommodate. And then I have a long piece, probably a yard. It doesn't have to be that long. And I'm going to sew this through the lace and leaving the streamers about twice as long as the dress. I will tie a bow. About like that. That looks good. And then an overhand knot in each streamer. And then I'll trim the streamers. Now, to below her chin, I am going to add a little decoration. I have a couple of options. I even have these. These are cute too. So I could choose a flower. I could choose a turquoise or a red or a white flower, or a bow, which is really cute. These are the pre-tied bows. Or I could use a little die-cut star. I hate to waste my wool felt, so when I have little scraps of felt, I just go ahead and cut them out into my tiny, tiny shapes. But I like the look of the bow, and these are easy to find, or you can just tie your own. So I have a bow stacked on a bow, which is just kind of fun, right? We have the baker's twine bow, and then we have the satin bow just above it. That looks really cute. Okay, now we'll do her hair. I'm using my favorite loopy mohair, and I'm gonna do the standard Rick Rack Ruby hair. One, hold a nice long tail. We're gonna do a figure 8, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then cut your second tail also pretty long, and then take the top piece, go all the way around, and then the first piece, and use that one to tie off the bundle in the center. Cut that off, but not too close to the knot. And then we'll do a second bundle. And I do have instructions for this. I think it's called Ruby's hair technique or something like that. I'll link it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and cut a nice long tail, go around, take the first one and tie off the bundle in the center, forming a figure 8. So we have those two bundles, and then the first one will go on the back of the head. So I'm applying the glue to the back of the head in a circle. Just a nice sort of just cover the back of the head. The knot of the bundle goes right behind the hanging loop. And the hair just gets pressed into the back. And then the second bundle goes in the front. I do this a little bit more slowly and carefully. So the bundle for the front goes just in front of the hanging loop here, and that's glued to the top. And then for the sides, I'm going to twist like this and press down into the side of the face. So I'll apply some glue there, and then twist and press into that glue. And then on this side, I'm always twisting this toward the back, put some glue right here, and then press that bundle into the side of her face. That looks good. Very cute. Now let's do the halo. I'll need about 2 inches of 20 gauge gold wire. Then I'll shape it with my thimble. Like that, forming a U. And then I'll put a little bit of glue here and here. And I'll press that into the sides of her head. So here's how she looks right now. The only thing left to do is the wings. For the wings, I have folded that about a 3 3/4 inch scallop circle in half. I cut from felt. And then I did a decorative stitch with red thread around the edge. I'll apply a little bit of glue right here and I'll press that to the back of her head. Just like this. And she is done. Now remember, you can make this from any color sweater, any kind of decorations, any kind of wings and thread and twine, hair, whatever you like. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Now, as promised, I will show you one way to make a scalloped circle pattern. Just trace around a bowl that seems like it's about the right size, around 7 or 8 inches, and then cut out that circle and fold it. So there's my circle, and I folded it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. This is kind of like making a paper snowflake. And then I just took my paper scissors and I just cut a little bit sharper, you know, rounded shape. And so then when you open it up, you have a scallop circle. There's nothing to it. And this would work really well for this angel. Give it a try.